You can't just lie and take people's kids. But you're wrong. Child Protective Services does it all the time. Family court judges do it all the time. I'm in a case that can't be real. I'm in a case in Ohio where a judge illegally took my son from me because we both live in Kentucky. And to cover up the unlawful ruling on the case, Judge Patricia Sanders, the very next day, calls in Child Protective Services worker Dave Carey and has him file a false complaint that she knows is false because the day before I was in her court. And I'm in a case where Ohio has illegally taken my Kentucky son, who's only lived in Kentucky by either parent, period. I'm in a case in Ohio that's illegally got a child from Kentucky in foster care for a year and a month in the case that it ruled on. And they do this and try to get by with it by charging the other parent who doesn't have custody. Now think about that for a minute. If that's federal kidnapping. When you unlawfully take somebody's child, that is federal kidnapping. And Judge Alan Lemons from Portsmouth tried to cover up for Judge Patricia Sanders. The courtroom testimony is out in public. It's out there. And CPS's Dave Carey, the person that made the complaint, admits to lying multiple times on the complaint. And I'm in a case that can't exist. A case of a Kentucky 5-month-old baby who was illegally taken by charging the parent in Ohio who didn't have any custody. Then Judge Alan Lemons rules that a child is dependent in a state of Ohio that he's never lived in. And this is federal kidnapping. And I'm shocked that it's still not the case. The deposition still isn't finally ruled on. The first part of it was ruled on, but it's not final. And they're mad at me because I exposed them. And they have not allowed me to see my own son since November 22nd of 2019. And they're the criminals. If this doesn't change Child Protective Services, family court, like this got to be opened up to the public. Because I'm not the only one. This happens to all kinds of people because we automatically think if somebody gets their kid taken, then, well, they did something to deserve it. But no. They're taking, Child Protective Services and family court are taking people's kids, and the parents haven't even been charged with any crimes. How the hell do you take somebody's kid if you haven't been charged with abuse or neglect? That's insane to me. You can just take somebody's child. And then by lying, you can take somebody's child. If you don't believe me, listen to the courtroom testimony. And then you tell me. But you can't just lie and take people's kids, but you're wrong. It happens all the time, and here's proof.
The last paragraph says the person having custody control who for whom party now resides as Eva Poe. That wasn't true, was it, at that time?
At that time, we did not have an open case. I do not know who had physical custody of the child at that time.
Did you not testify that you terminated your case in May because Joe had an agreement that he got custody residential status?
I said he had custody.
Okay,
I
so
said
then why did you
custody.
say Eva had custody?
I said physical custody just now. I don't know who had the child at that time.
Okay. Well, was the child here on the 16th of July in Ohio?
I don't know where the child was.
Was the child ordered to be brought back to this jurisdiction?
Yes.
So the child was in Kentucky?
I don't know where the child was.
Okay, well,
We called the grandmother and said, get the child.
Fair enough, but the child was not in this jurisdiction to your knowledge. It was brought back from somewhere.
Brought back from somewhere. I don't know where.
So the child was not in danger on July 16th. Fair statement?
I don't know, that to be up to.
Well, Joe, my client was here, Eva was here, they weren't in charge of the child at that time, so. What's your dependency based on? The child's brought back from a different place, it's not, Roger's not in danger that day, what do you base the dependency on? Indicated on your, the southern part of that form, question being, did the act or acts or neglect of abuse and dependency occur in Lawrence County, Ohio? You put yes on that form, correct? You just testified the child wasn't even in this jurisdiction, the child had to be brought back to this jurisdiction, so that's not a true statement, is it? So that
I
dependency
don't know
occurred
where
in
the
this
child
jurisdiction.
was at that day.
Could you not read, then I don't know?
I
If you
didn't write
swore
it.
under oath, the dependency occurred in this jurisdiction, you put yes, you signed it under oath,
Yes,
you don't know where the child was.
correct,
Yet you said the dependency occurred in Lawrence County.
yes.
Now,
You just heard actual courtroom testimony of Child Protective Service worker Dave Carey. He clearly admits to lying multiple times on the complaint. And you tell me why he's not in jail. Tell me why Scioto County Judge Alan Lemons hasn't ruled on the deposition. He found the child dependent, the Kentucky child dependent in Ohio, and put him in foster care for a year and a month, but hasn't ruled on the deposition yet, the final part. This is what goes on in family court. This is what Child Protective Services does. It is so corrupt, so criminal. We have to change it. They have to open the courts up and let the public in. And I'm still shocked by everybody's behavior in this case. Nobody does the right thing. In the best interest of the child, I need my son back. And I also need people to be going to prison over this, because that's where you belong when you commit crimes against children. Unlawfully taking somebody's child is kidnapping. When you do it across state lines, it's federal kidnapping. And that's exactly what this is, unlawfully removing or taking a child or liberty interest in interstate commerce is federal kidnapping. It's just the FBI won't do their job because they know all about this kids for cash scam. This is the Ryder Cash story.